Okay, here are all of our beautiful Great Lengths colors. This client just wanted as much color as possible in her hair, so we are gonna do our halo sectioning technique. I left the sectioning part in so you guys could see exactly how I do it. So I basically started the temple and I section out the crown in a horseshoe shape. I'm gonna pin this up out of my way so that the ends of her hair don't get in the way of me attaching the Great Lengths hair extensions. One of my favorite sectioning tools is the Color Track sectioning Stix. The thing about this is, well, first of all, if you lived in the 90s, it just makes doing hair more fun. But secondly, it's a great, easy way to pull back out of the hair when you're ready. You're just gonna stick it right through that little twisty twist and then work it back through like you would like a chopstick. It makes me feel very Phoebe from Friends. So here we go. I'm gonna walk you through step by step how to install these beautiful extensions. You're gonna take a thin slice, like very thin where you can see through it. You're going to remove the extension from the extension card, and then you're gonna press it gently underneath the hair. You're gonna do this about 1/4 of an inch away from the scalp, and then you're going to make sure you get all those little baby hairs down with your tail comb, add the other extension on top, and then you're gonna go in with your extension attachment tool horizontally first, and then at a 45-degree angle on both sides, and then vertically across the top. Now, the great thing about the high impact halo sectioning technique is it only takes 6 to 8 extensions total to create this look and to create this impact. This client does not want length. She does not necessarily want fullness. She just wants the happiness that color can bring to your life. And so if you are someone who has talked about creative color with your clients or has wanted to delve into this crazy world that I love living in, this is the perfect way to create great impact without having to bleach your clients out, especially if they're fair weather creative hair clients. And by that, I mean, they don't necessarily want to do it in the summer, or they only want to do it in the summer. Either way, this is a great way because you can reuse these extensions 3 times and they will keep their color the entire time. So as I'm working my way across the head, a couple things I want to point out. I'm putting her favorite colors up by her face because those are the ones she's going to see. The other thing you'll see me do is work complementary colors kind of next to each other, or even colors that are a little bit of opposite on the color wheel. So you can see, we can see through this page. We've got pink and green next to each other, which are definitely opposite. We've got purple in the back. You can see that I'm giving really good tension, pushing up on the hair so that those little babies get stuck directly onto that adhesive. And then I'm gonna take that tail comb, brush down gently. You can see how great that adhesive is because it's not even falling out with just the one attachment. And then you're gonna go back in and place it on top. One of the things I wanted to point out is that I'm never touching the attachment with my fingers. You don't ever wanna let any of the oil from your hands transfer onto the attachment directly. So my favorite tools for installing extensions are gonna be the carbon fiber tail combs from Color Track. They're extremely strong, so when you're working through someone's hair, you don't have to worry about the tail comb being like wiggly or wobbly in any way. It makes me feel strong and mighty, so I would encourage you guys to try them out. And then I've got the big grip Color Track clip on top, kind of getting all of those little hairs out, and then I still have that sectioning stick holding the majority of her hair. Now you're gonna go in, I love kind of like looking in the mirror as I'm doing this, checking out the install and making sure that you can see the color through the bottom. When I do the cut on this, I really want you guys to pay attention at how little I take out. Typically with these extensions, because they are double drawn, which means the density at the top matches the density of the bottom, you may have to do some pre-softening of the ends. You can use a set of thinning shears or even a razor to kind of shatter the ends and make them blend in with someone's lived-in hair. However, this client has a pretty significant and heavy weight line at the bottom, and I want the extension colors to actually show. So in order to do that, we actually added a few layers throughout the crown of her hair so that she has that little like peekaboo of creative color that will pop out below the layers. And I'm not going to even layer these extensions in. You could go in and you could really layer them and you could make them blend, but our goal today is not to blend, it is to stick out. So I'm gonna leave the weight at the bottom of her hair as much as I can. Now we have an entire row. You guys see it's literally only 6 extensions. We could stop here. The one thing you're gonna see me do though is pull that crown section down and see if those extensions are full enough and high enough to peekaboo. I'm gonna go through with my just regular cutting shears and trim the ends. My favorite way to do this if I'm wanting to leave a lot of weight and volume is to point cut the bottom so that the base stays very heavy, and then go back through, pick up the ends. You guys see when you pick the extensions up, I'm literally only cutting extensions. There's no red hair in there. And I'll point cut just to give it a little bit of wispiness through the bottom, but still leave it very thick. You're going to be able to get a really good look at this when I pull it up. If the extensions are longer than the hair, it's really easy. You can kind of like shake the hair out of the bottom. If you've ever seen like the air touch balayage technique where you use a blow dryer, you can use that as well to get the little red hairs out of the extension color so you're not cutting your client's hair. And then I'm gonna go through after I, go through and point cut, and I'm going to point cut deeper into the hair so that way we've got a real wispy edge. Remember, we're gonna install these extensions at least 3 more times. Oh, and by the way, we're looking at tattoos as we do this, so you guys are gonna see a lot of tattoos popping up here and there between my client and I. She said it was fine if I shared it in my stories. So you're gonna see me go back and double check everything and see where everything lays. Now, my favorite shears, these are angel blade scissors from my friend Sana Brado. She is amazing, and if you haven't cut with white shears before, you're literally missing out because these are the happiest. It's so easy to see the hair, and it's so easy to kind of go through and give yourself a really great edge. A couple of things I wanted to talk about today. These extensions are ethically sourced, so that means that they are traceable. There's actually a barcode on the back of every box that can show you the month and date that it actually was sourced from the temple, and then it tells you exactly where it was donated. So all of this hair is donated, and the great news is when we buy the hair, that money goes back into the communities from the temples we bought it from. It's a B Corp, which I love being a part of. And if you guys have more questions about that, I'd love to answer them. We're gonna go in, I'm gonna show you guys how I double check and make sure that our extensions are as thick as we need them to be. So I'm gonna slice just little veils of hair over the top. You're gonna see me go back through and decide to add 2 more attachment sandwiches right up by her face. Now I'm showing her which tattoos I want, which is kind of hilarious because I'm literally looking through her phone. I don't know if you guys do that, but it's so funny. Clients are always wanting to show me something, and then I'm going back through their phones as well and pointing to things. So you guys are gonna see me get some of those tattoos in the background soon. I left it in just because I thought you'd get a kick out of it. So here we go. I'm gonna slice this down. I'm going to actually pull a color that's kind of opposite of that green just to let it really pop. I'm gonna keep it tight. Tension is always key whether you're coloring or installing extensions. And remember, we're gonna go back in with that tail comb. We're gonna create the second attachment, and we're gonna use our extension tool to attach that. We are getting to the tail end of this appointment. I'm gonna go back in, point cut that, and make sure that that blends with that piece underneath. And then I'm gonna go back to the other side, double check and make sure that I have as much color on this side as I do the other. I feel like green is definitely missing over here, so you're gonna see me pull the attachment off. Remember, keep that tension tight, press the extension up into the hair, use the tail comb to secure it down. You guys are gonna be experts at installing great lengths extensions by the end of this video. I didn't wanna leave anything cut out or left behind, so I wanted to make sure you guys had it all. You're gonna go on horizontally, then you go in at a 45-degree angle, and then back vertically just to make sure. I did this one in real time so you could really see how long it takes to do an install. And remember, we're gonna point cut those ends. When my client leaves today, I'm gonna recommend that she wait 72 hours to shampoo her hair. In my opinion, just personally myself, I think it's better for the hair if you give it a little bit of a break from shampooing right after these are installed. You guys, I left this in here so you could see how heavy the weight line is on these extensions. I did not blend it with what she has up top, and that's the main reason for that is she literally curls her hair every single day, and we want to see those extensions pop out at the bottom in as much color impact as possible. Now, if I was working with a client and this was their real hair, obviously I would blend from top to bottom. We would do great layering and even go in and probably point cut. But because we're working with extensions that we don't want to take more off than what she's wanting, I actually left the weight in these a little bit heavier. Once we brush out these curls, you'll get to see the impact it made just because I didn't blend as well as you would with like a traditional haircut. I'm going in and curling every single piece. You guys are seeing me spray something on there. It's a heat protector that has a little bit of hold from KMS. And then I'm gonna go back and finish her hair with a working hairspray from Goldwell. The key with curling any hair, whether it's extensions or natural hair, is to curl it and then let those curls cool completely before brushing it out. Curl is set by heat cooling, not by heat. So the longer you can let the curls sit in the hair, the better. Typically, I'll rebook my client as I'm curling and letting those curls cool. We'll like start talking about it. I'll even let them pay me, and then I'll go back through and brush those curls out once they're completely done. Most of my clients tell me they can go 3 to 4 days without having to recurl their hair after I do it. So I want to give them that luxury of not having to do their hair once they've visited me. The other thing is their hair typically smells amazing by the time they leave, and nobody wants to shampoo that magic out. So if you guys have any questions about this extension install, please leave them below. I am here to answer any and all of your questions, or just, anything about being a hairstylist and life as a hairstylist. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You guys are going to get to see the after. I can't wait for you guys to see the amount of impact that I was able to create with that few extensions. Now here we have all of the hair completely curled. We're going to let those curls cool. See, I'm bouncing them, making sure that they are nice and fluffy and bouncy. The color is just popping out so magically. And you're just going to use your hands to kind of rake through those curls to brush those curls out. I actually left this part in. I wanted to point out a couple things. I love doing photography tips, and as you can see, my shadow is passing over my client's head multiple times up here because it's just not that great time of day to be taking pictures indoors. You can even see the lighting is beautiful, but my shadow is creating a weird kind of cast over her hair that's taking away a lot of the shine. So I'm actually going to take my beautiful client downstairs to my parking garage, which is where my sweet spot is for creating content. And here are our results. Hope you guys loved it. Thanks for watching.